What's going on, y'all? Gonzo's Convos, Season 5, Episode 11. Today we have. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Oh, okay, my name is Nenie Valentine. Um, I am an aspiring author and a mom. I don't really know how to introduce myself, but that's the best I got.
You're good. I mean, just basically like saying who you are, what you do, what your goals are, type of deal. Stuff like that.
Well, goals just to help anybody else who has difficulties getting their books out. As an indie author myself, it's very difficult for us to market ourselves. So I
Okay.
try to use my platform for that while
Okay.
also doing my own work.
So just to go in depth with it, what exactly is the indie author?
An indie author is an independent or self-published author. Usually, they do not have a traditional a traditional public words. Usually, they do not have a publicity. Oh my god, a
You're
public.
good. You're good.
I promise, I did not have anything yet. I just poured myself a glass of wine. They don't have a marketing team behind them to help them produce an audience for their book. Therefore, I use my platform with the small following that I have to help get these authors and their work some more recognition that usually they would have to pay for otherwise.
Okay. So people that have to pay for that, how much would that really be? Like just to get a book published?
There's so much that goes into it from editing. There's line editing. There's story wise, just to make sure there's no plot holes.
Yeah.
Um, then there's sensitivity readers who make sure that there isn't anything offensive in the writing. And in my line of in my genre, which is dark romance, there tends to be a lot of sensitive subjects in the matter. Um, but aside from the editing part, the marketing itself can be it can range anywhere from a couple $100 depending on how well you do and
Yeah.
how creative you get. Um, Anywhere from that to like thousands. So it's a huge ballpark for
Yeah.
India. Not that easy.
Mm. That's what it seems like for sure. But yeah, you said you wouldn't have anything. I'm having my own drink. Right now I'm having coquito,
Mm,
which is a traditional Puerto Rican drink.
yes, I just made some myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got 2 batches in the fridge waiting for me.
Are you Puerto Rican or no?
I'm Dominican. My husband's Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay. I'm not. I'm Mexican, but I like coquito. So I was like, I'm gonna make some. Fuck it. And
It
I
runs.
use and I use Donku, which is rum from Puerto Rico. I don't make it like how you know the weirdos make it, where they use Bacardi and shit like that. Nah, straight up Donku.
I I have a clientele, and they request Bacardi. That's the only reason why I use it.
It just don't taste right to me.
They actually gave me a Captain Morgan special private. It was a private selection
Really.
bottle that they requested specifically to be put in it. I'm just like, I've never done it with Captain Morgan, but okay.
Like I
You're
don't mind Bacardi, but to make coquito with it, like it don't taste right to me. I like Donku, You
yeah.
gotta have Donku with it.
I've
But
tried it with someone made it with Brugal one time.
oh really?
I looked at them like I'm not sure if I should be tasting this, but I
Yeah.
had a drink. It wasn't that bad. It was great actually, but it was just
So
surprising.
so how often do you get confused as being Puerto Rican versus Dominican?
Um, a lot. You'd be surprised. So, my accent when I speak Spanish, I sound pure Puerto Rican because of my husband, and I used to spend a lot of time around Puerto Ricans. For some reason, I wasn't really liked amongst my own community.
I got you. No,
um,
no, you're. I believe that because I lived on the East Coast for a little bit. When I lived over there, there was not so many Mexicans, but mainly Puerto Ricans, and that Spanish kind of rubbed off on me. So I was speaking like that for a little bit, and I got my family pissed off. So I was like, I need to go back.
yeah, no, I was known as the gringa in the family because I was born out here and I spoke English fine. There was no accent, and I'm looking at them like, how is that a bad thing? But no, la gringa de la familia. That's it.
I had to
You ain't
let go of. I had to let go of Mama Bicho and go back to pendejo, cabrón. All
pendejo. Nah, my favorite is huele bicho.
no, 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 no. Actually, yeah, Dick Sniffer, cause like, yeah, yeah, that's probably
Thank
my
you.
favorite one too. Yeah,
Yes. There's so many creative. I think Puerto Ricans are the most colorful with their curses. They're
No, they're
so
more vulgar.
they're very
They're more
vocal.
vulgar.
Mexicans too, with the pinga. Oh my god, dude.
Pinga. No. We don't say pinga. That's Cubans.
That's Cubans?
Yeah.
I've heard. Well, at least the Mexicans out here
You're
in New
thinking
York.
of chinga. You're thinking of chinga.
No, the Mexicans out here in New York use pinga a lot.
That's weird as fuck. They're not real Mexicans.
Probably not. Probably not. They're watered down.
Yeah, like my family, the Mexicans I'm around, we don't say pinga, but we say chinga a lot.
Chinga tu madre. I've heard chinga tu madre, chingala. A la verga.
Yeah.
Different things like that. Yeah.
But
That's
I feel like our words compared to the Puerto Rican slang, Puerto Rican slang takes the W with that one. Like they go more detail with their
they're
words.
so colorful.
Like for us, cabron means motherfucker.
Yeah, but you can also be it can also be a term of endearment. Like if I knew you well enough, I would like cabrón, all that other shit. But no.
Yeah. Which is like it's just like what people do here as well. Like they're like, hey motherfucker, like what you doing? You know?
Right.
But in Puerto Rican Spanish, like cabron means like it's like something long, like your significant other cheats on you or some shit like that. I'm like,
right. Right. You can use it both ways. It can go both ways.
I love
I love the Spanish language because it's fun.
It's very diverse. Like people don't really understand that don't speak Spanish. They don't understand that Spanish is diverse as much as it is, you know. But I love that. I love that a lot.
I used to get offended when I would get confused when people would confuse me for Puerto Rican because I don't know. There's this unspoken beef. No one knows what it is, and it's just.
I do. Puerto Ricans and Dominicans don't get along.
For what reason? But what is the reason? It's
unspoken. The reason is because Puerto Rico is a territory of the U.S. and Dominican Republic feels left out. So
but like,
those bougie ass motherfuckers, and that's how it goes from there.
That's not our fault, right? So therefore, I say our because whatever. At this point, that's nobody's fault. Therefore, the beef makes no sense. The only thing that I've ever noticed and living in New York is the fact that, which I find crazy, they don't consider themselves Black, and that's something I find interesting because we look very similar.
That's normal. Like that's normal. Like if you ask a paisa from Mexico, they're like, "Are you brown or are you like a certain color?" They're like, "No, I'm Mexican."
I'm like, what happened to the one drop?
What happened to the what?
The one drop rule. Like you got one drop of that in you. That's it. Let's just keep that one because it makes sense.
It is funny though. Like he'll be like that black guy over there, and he'll be like, "I'm not black. I'm Dominican," and you're like, "Oh shit, alrighty, you know,
sure.
Here we go." Like,
let's.
I fuck with that though because he's letting it be known. Like I'm not just another black dude on the street.
Right.
Like I'm Dominican. Like that's where my pride comes. That's where I'm coming.
Definitely.
You know
it takes a different turn when you start getting offended.
Yeah.
That's where it takes a different turn. It's just like, okay, it's not meant to be offensive. Because you were also in the same predicament, but there's no reason to get offended when it's an observation. Someone can see, but like, listen, hey, you look like you could be my brother, and like, no, mani, yo soy tu amigo, like type shit. And like, oh,
I'm as dark as you, but we friends right now. Like,
listen,
but for a little like Latin history. Little thing, right? A lot of people got to understand we have all kinds of mixtures in this. We have black, we have European, we have indigenous, you know what I'm saying? We have all kinds of different shit. And even Asian sprinkled in there, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
my God, my favorite Chinese food comes from Puerto Rico.
I went to Puerto Rico for a real week, and if you go into the Chinese restaurants, they speak Spanish better than anybody else.
Right.
What the fuck?
And you looking at them like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
It's a whole chino going like, mira pai, like what you want, like, oh, okay.
Listen, all right.
I thought you was gonna hit me with some Chinese words, but shit, okay.
Listen, I wasn't ready, but I'll accept it. Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just lived there and then they adapted how they speak too. You know how they don't pronounce the S's? Yeah, they adapted the whole thing. I love it.
It fascinated me when I first went, but first of all, the food I can't. I don't know what it is about island food, it tastes different. Being from just living out here and constantly eating processed things, you go to somewhere where things are actually a little less everything's processed in certain places, but there's a little
Yeah.
more care in the agriculture and how they cultivate their food and how they make it. It's just made more homey with the
Yeah.
heart. It tastes better, so much better. Even soda.
So I'm gonna be biased.
Okay.
Mexican food is the absolute best ever created, right? But like we don't call it. They know. Like I like empanadillas. Don't get me wrong, but for us, empanadas top tier. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay, okay. Wait. You just said something that low key triggered me. You said empanadillas and empanadas. ¿Qué es la diferencia?
I say empanadas. We say empanadas, but over
Empanadas.
in Puerto Rico they say empanadillas.
¿Y pa qué? Son la misma mierda.
No, you know what I'm saying? It's the way we make it. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I don't want the dozen Mexican restaurants in every state to be like that's what Mexican food is. Because no,
Right.
like you
Yeah.
said that's processed shit and that's American owned shit. You want the
Mm-hmm.
real stuff? Go to the country, or if you're from the family, they'll make it for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
There are certain Mexican restaurants that they try their hardest to be authentic in New York. And some of them are. Some of them are as authentic as they can get because of the ingredients that they have to buy out here, right?
Right.
But there's also La Casera, that one that walk around the street with plates of food, calentado. They're holding it warm for you. That they just made it at home and they pack that plate up just
The
so
plate
you.
on top of the plate.
And that plate comes with a soda for $10. A soda, a fork, a napkin, and you got a whole meal right there. When I tell you, those women are the closest thing you will ever get to authentic Mexican food.
Hey, what kind of soda is it? Is it Jarritos? Like, what are we talking
It
here?
could be jarritos. It could be. The soda don't matter. It's just the fact that you're paying $10 for arroz con habichuela y chuleta, y una soda on top of that. Like, it's a lot.
First, if you go to some fake ass restaurant, you're paying like $20 for a meal. Like,
And it's not even that good. It's not
yeah,
made.
it tastes like excuse me. It tastes like a gringo made that shit. It tastes like a white dude made that shit.
Thank you.
They don't have Latino chefs back there. They have white dudes and
Uh-huh.
every other race besides Latino in that
But
kitchen.
I mean, they also got them in the back of Domino's too. Like, that's why Domino's pizza tastes so good. It's not because of the recipe. It's because of who they got back there. Come on now.
Actually, I'm glad you said that because a lot of people on that Pizza Hut bullshit. It's about Domino's. I ain't gonna
It's
lie.
about Domino's. It
It's
definitely
about
is.
Domino's over
I
Pizza.
like Pizza Hut when I can't have Domino's.
I'll still no. Like
Papa John's is off the list. Papa John's and Caesars, Little Caesars can scoot it.
Caesar tastes like motherfucking cardboard.
Booty. That's what it tastes like. What is it? What's in the
You
sauce?
said
Why
booty?
is it booty? Why is it sweet?
So booty is sweet?
No. The
You
sauce
said tastes like
why is
booty.
No. I mean, it can be. That's not what we're talking about.
I'm gonna be
Point is,
real right now. I'm not a booty warrior, so I'm not gonna know anything about that. You know what I'm saying? I stay away from that. But hey,
he said,
if
I
you
don't
know, you
go that
know.
south. I don't go that south.
Mhm.
Mm.
But anyway, no, go ahead. You got something? Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, like, we can keep that down south away.
Oh yeah, definitely. But anyway, so getting on to the topic at hand, what we were talking about on your TikTok live originally, because I had you going, I had you spitting words and stuff with this topic, and I love that. So coming to this generation, right? Generation we are currently living in right now. Do you see it on a rise or do you see it on a decline?
Okay, so I have as much faith as I can. If I'm being honest, I've been petrified because now that I have a daughter, and I'm noticing that her doctors are going to be my youth, or at least the youth that I'm seeing now, and I'm genuinely concerned because a lot of the things that we're focused on, it's not for the better of our future, if I'm making sense. Like, okay, so by all means, there's this huge movement where it's take care of yourself only and worry about yourself and all this how would you say, independence going on.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm not negating that. But there is a consequence to being so independent. There is that it's going to eventually bleed into the future of our children or the people who decide to have children. There's a lot of people who are choosing not to start families, which is once again a self choice, not nobody else's problem. That's their business, not necessarily something bad.
Right.
The ones who are choosing to not have children are eventually going to either become the doctors, the dentists, and whatever in our future, right? So I find it difficult, at least for me to have faith in a future where values have been lessened, where the female image has been diminished and lost all value of respect. This once again is my own opinion, and it's like just like everyone has one. It's just very difficult to talk about. Which I didn't know if this was a type of podcast where I could get into things like this.
What do you mean, like get into talking about this, or like,
yeah, because sensitive people are sensitive, and
yeah. But I'm under the explicit category, so you can talk about whatever you want, you can say whatever you want. It don't fucking matter.
Cool. All right. So, point is that I fear the independence and the solitude that people are getting into, just because it looks like it's going to lead down a path where not a lot of people have a village to take care of them. You understand how people, once they have a child, they're like, oh, it takes a village. There's a support system. You have neighbors, you have family. All of that slowly started going away as time went on. You don't necessarily have a village. You don't necessarily have a family to back you up in certain situations. And then on top of that, people aren't even neighborly nowadays. So how am I supposed to feel comfortable in a future, or at least the idea of a future where everyone's just only worried about themselves and not the next person? You know what I mean? It's not necessarily saying that you can't be selfish at times, but in the long run, where does that get you? Yeah, you'll achieve the things that you maybe wanted to achieve, maybe, because it doesn't always mean that you're going to achieve success just for being solely focused on yourself. It's very worrisome where I see things happening. I see like the situations that are going on around the world, and there's so many people with platforms, so many people with power nowadays, and it's not being used
the correct way. Right.
The correct way. If anything, people are more worried with pop culture and what's going on in social media and what song Beyonce's coming out with next, or who is this woman? Taylor Swift dating? Who cares?
Travis Kelce. But go ahead.
No way. Point is that it's very one, like, single-minded direct. Like there's no there. It seems like sheep. It seems like cattle. It's giving. You don't have your own mind. It's giving. Yeah. Let's not follow the same thing. But unfortunately, this is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And I just having my own my first child right now. She's 2. It scares me where her future is going to end up because
I feel like you're definitely not the only parent that's scared of this type of thing. Because I can promise you probably see the way you see younger people are, how they're acting, how they're doing shit. That only leads you to so much hope for the future, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, like, I hope our future is better. I hope it gets better within the next 10 years. But who knows? It's probably not.
And you can only hope. You can only hope. Aside from what's going on with society, there's also what's going on in the government that you can't freaking control, aside from voting a couple times. And even that, you're not sure if it is actually going to where it's supposed to be going to, or if it's rigged. Because apparently
I'm not even sure if I even want to live in the States in the next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'm trying to go.
I want to stay here. Like, I want to go to Europe. Europe seems more fucking established than the States do right now. Like Spain, they may not like us Latino people, but you know what?
I don't give a damn. I'll speak English. I don't have to speak Spanish if you don't like me. That's fine.
Yeah, if they don't like my Spanish, I'll speak English. I don't fucking know.
Just let me into your economy, man. Please.
Exactly. But they just seem like more established thing than the United States does. I feel like the U.S. is on the verge of collapsing. You know what I'm
It,
saying?
oh, do you know that we're considered a third world country to other countries?
I did not know that. No.
We are considered a third world country because of how much poverty we have going on. Isn't that fantastic?
Wow.
Hmm. California alone has a huge statistic on that.
Well, that's because
Like,
of California. Like anyone on the coast, West Coast, East Coast, it's expensive as fuck. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Cali. I just heard things, but
It's
yeah,
expensive. Like let's take New York for example. Those little small, tiny apartments that they have out there are expensive as fuck.
yeah.
You can afford just a tiny space like that.
I was paying 1,400 for a studio.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And it was in a public housing building, so imagine that. It's
Like
supposed to be subsidized.
like I could tell you, I'm in Texas. I have a two-bedroom apartment out here in Texas. I'm only paying maybe 1,100 at most, and that's with the taxes and shit.
That's crazy. And how much? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, do you have a job, a side job aside from what you do here on live streaming?
Right here,
See, that's
social media, YouTube, all this shit. Hey,
that's fantastic. Listen,
so it's more than enough to buy. You know, it's more than enough to afford a
Hmm.
two-bedroom apartment now. But I'm just saying, like the difference between here versus
Yeah.
the different coasts is crazy.
It is. It is. I've actually been considering moving to Texas, not because of this has actually been a thought process for a few years now. Not because of anything, not only because of the fact that it's cheaper out there, but
It seems so independent.
it is. And not only that, the carry laws,
Yeah, yeah.
they just finished lifting a stupid
I'm
law.
glad you're with that because a lot of people are like, "Oh, no guns," but it's like, okay.
I have a child, I have a family to protect, and at the end of the day,
Best believe if
if
someone
I'm
comes,
out and about, huh?
yeah, I'm gonna say, best believe if someone comes bulging through the door, I'm gonna blast the fuck out of them.
Exactly, exactly. I
Straight
have all
up,
the right to do whatever the hell I need to do in my home to protect my family. Thank you very much.
right?
But they did just finish lifting a stupid law that we had here. Well, it was more of a restriction. It was that we had to provide witnesses. In order for us, first of all, we had to have a cause, a reasonable enough cause to want a weapon. And we had to, yeah, aside from protection, because it's not our Second Amendment, right? We had to provide a reason, right? And it had to be the judge had to approve this reason. Not only did the reason have to be provided, you also had to provide 7 witnesses, and they had to be present at the day of the hearing.
Hey, it's a good day
And
to be Latino. Get all 7 family members in this motherfucker. Let's go.
listen, Paulo, Alfredo, Maria, lo que sea, Fabio, I don't even fucking know. Everybody, come right now.
Abuelita, come down.
Come down, really.
I know you don't like to go outside, but come down.
But yeah, they just lifted that, and now instead of having to prove, because we don't need to prove why we should want a weapon to protect it. It's
We
to protect.
should.
There's no other reason. You have so many illegal weapons here because of that stupid law, and now it's just
This government, this whole whatever the fuck those top people, right, are focused on the wrong shit.
oh yeah.
They're focused on the wrong shit.
There is a huge reason as to why I'm debating on Texas, though. The abortion laws are still very, very, very against us over
So
there.
I'm gonna hit you with something, right? I'm currently living in El Paso, Texas. I'm not too far from Las Cruces, New Mexico, where let's say if you wanted to get an abortion, you can go over to New Mexico right there, 30 minutes away, have that, and then come right back.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing saying you can't do that.
Lucky for the fact that you live near.
That's what I'm saying.
You're close. Texas is fucking huge. So for let's
you
say
live in the center, you know, best of luck to you on that,
yeah.
on that part, you know.
Let's say I mean it's more so for the women who use contraceptive and who are taking all the measures that they need to take,
Right.
and they are not able to continue to have a child. Like there's illnesses. Not only that, their body can literally fight a battle against the child and kill them. So it's just for moments like for circumstances like that, there shouldn't be any type of issue when it comes to that happening. I don't like saying the word, although I'm very passionate about this topic. I just
So
don't like
about
saying.
abortion?
Yeah, thanks.
You can say it. I'm
So
explicit times, bro. I don't care.
I know, it's more of a me thing. Um, but yeah, so it's very difficult to want. I definitely would love to move there, but there is, like I said, it's difficult to know that that's there. Know that that law is usually mostly against us, and still, and then have a child, have a little girl on top of that. Because like all of this, all of my decisions revert right back to my daughter.
Yeah.
So if I were to choose to move to a place where things like that of that nature are against us, which, if I'm being honest, and if we're looking at statistics, anything can happen, right? The
Right.
worst. I'm not even trying to voice the worst, but the worst can happen. God forbid something does happen. What the hell? Like, she's supposed to drive all the way down to Mexico because it's just
Yeah, that'd be wild.
insane. It's insane. So, uh, I don't know.
so,
Maybe
so I'm
we should.
saying, so I'm saying, like with the younger generation, right? With I'm saying, I'm speaking like 18 to like I don't know 23.
Mhm.
I'm 21, so I guess I fit in that category, but I think differently. So I don't like to count myself in this category here, but 18 to 23 with this generation, how do you think they are handling the fact that a lot of them are having kids, a lot of them are just getting married at a young age, stuff like that.
I mean, everything is circumstantial. You know, it all depends on what
Cheating on
that
each other.
is going through. Um, I can't speak for anybody who is going through, their own situation. From what I see, though, um, I am hoping and praying that it's the youth trying to salvage the cultural values that we actually did grow up with. In other words, you know how everyone expects you to be married around the age of 25.
Yeah.
Like it's all like, oh, you're 24 years old and you're not married yet or engaged. Wow,
Well, here,
like
time's ticking. Yeah, yeah.
that used to be a comment amongst the family, like at the dinner table, or wow, you're
That might
close.
just be a Latin thing. I don't think any other
No,
race.
it's a thing. It used to be a thing, is what I'm saying. It used to be a common thing. Back in the day, you would be expected as a woman, you would be expected to be starting a family somewhere in your late 20s.
Yeah.
If you're not in a relationship in your early 20s, what are you doing? If
Right.
you're not if you're studying too much, ma'am, no, you should be focusing on a family. So all of these things, all of these generational values that we grew up with, they're kind of fading away. But I like to think of um these, like, the question that you asked, the people who are actually still trying to start families and trying to get and continue their line. I like to think that that's still somewhat of our generational, you know values.
Yes
And
and no.
now,
Yes and no. And I say that because a lot of these, I've seen more baby mamas this year than any other year. And that's just
okay,
being
okay.
real.
Well, wait. You had mentioned wait. Are we just talking about getting pregnant without a relationship involved, or are we talking about creating
I
family?
mean, for there to be a baby mama and a baby father, it has to be some type of relationship there built.
Not always, but yeah, sure.
Maybe not always, but most of the time, there's something established to where one says, "Yes, you
Right,
can, do whatever the fuck with me," type deal. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I'm just going, like when I talk to females, they're not just willing to give it to anybody. Maybe some, who knows? But I'm talking about the ones that are level headed more.
We also need to remember that there was a fad, like there was a huge phase where a lot of women were doing sex work.
That still is a phase. That
Right.
is still a thing.
It has diminished, like maybe by a smidge, but you're right. It's still a huge thing. So
Look at
this
OnlyFans. That shit is blown up more than anything I could possibly fucking think of. So
right. So
they're
therefore,
they're still doing it.
how do you what do you think happens? There are consequences to these actions, to these
Right.
positions.
Right.
Therefore,
So, like I said, I've seen a lot of baby mamas more this year than any other year, and the dad is not present. Now, I'm not saying that's on him because sometimes, like I said in the last episode, sometimes the female's like, no, you're not going to see your kid. Like, they just won't let it happen.
facts.
That shit happens. That's
Hell yeah.
happened to one of my homies. I'm not going to name names, but that's happened to him before. Happened to him
It's a
now.
very That's very common. What's
So,
crazy? that they just started opening up a lot more shelters in New York, at least from what I've seen. My sister actually is part of a chain of shelters that's opening up for men who have been wrongly.
Oh, that's pretty cool though.
They have been evicted because the judge favored the female and the mother and the child, and the mother now has custody
Right.
and she's in the house, but he has nowhere to live. So they're doing shelters like that for men now, and any other sexuality that comes into fruition.
Yeah.
So I found that wholesome as fuck. Like, I've never seen a situation where it favors the man. And
Real talk.
if I'm being honest, a lot of women get away with a lot of shit. And it's not necessarily. Let's also keep in mind that the system let this happen because of how, that whole idea of, the child should never be taken away from his mother. And the whole idea of stay home mom, that whole idea of, a child needs his mother. The dad can always go work. That is where this all came from. The mom always staying home, the mom always taking care of the kids, housewife, this, that. All of that came from that same ideology, the same social construct of back in the 40s and the 50s. So you necessarily can't be mad at the outcome that now women. It's just it's same. This is a huge conversation that I've had with multiple men actually, where they're like,
Well, that's cool because multiple men can hear all this.
That's perfectly fine.
Love it.
Where the same thing happens, the same conversation happens when men are just like, but women have it easy on social media or for OnlyFans. All they got to do is shake some ass. And I'm looking at them like, sir, who do you think made it this easy for us?
Yeah.
You can't be mad at the outcome when at the end of the day, sex sells. And the person selling it is you. You can't be mad.
Right. No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But at the same time, like, he can't be mad at that shit. So I get where you're coming from. Because it was men that made that shit possible. Y'all fucked yourselves.
It wasn't exactly, but the same thing applies. Let me backtrack that a little bit more. The same thing applies to the suffragette movement, where women wanted rights. And now look, now they're like, I wanted to work and I wanted to do all this.
Yeah.
You sure? Because now look, now women don't want to work. Now women want to be housewives. Now women make it make sense.
Okay, I'm not knocking any females out there. Like, y'all are doing your thing, y'all do whatever you got to do. Same with the men, right? But we're in a generation where females, when they look for a relationship, and I'm gonna hit you with what this younger generation likes to look for. When they look for a relationship, they look for the zodiac sign that matches. I don't agree with at all. They look for the height, because apparently height plays a big fucking role in things, and they look for if they got money.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a little understandable because they want to make sure the dude can take care of them. But at the same time, if they're just solely relying on the dude's money, they're all kinds of fucked up. Because you also got to remember, we're also in a generation where females also love to rely on themselves. They like to get their own thing. You know, like,
I was saying that independent shit is really okay. It's not a bad thing to want to be independent.
It's not.
But it gets to a point where you feel like you don't need nobody. Fine, you may not necessarily need somebody, but the moment that you do choose to start a life with somebody else or to let somebody else join in your life, you have to. I'm sorry, I'm gonna use this word, but you gotta humble yourself. Your independence isn't all that matters now. You have allowed somebody else to join your life. This is a union now. It's not like, let me just tell him how much I got in my bank account. No, it's more like create a joint bank account. It's more like, let's plan for our future together. Let's see where you're at. Let's see where I'm at.
How many people are doing that right now?
That's the problem. They're so caught up with the fact that they want to sit here and have their own shit, their own independence. Just in case this don't work out, I'm good. Like, that's not the way first of all, love is a risk. If you want to create a family, it's all risky. If you want to build with somebody else, it's all a risk. You're putting your emotions and your life in someone else's hands. Not necessarily like legit, but figuratively, because this shit could destroy you. And with that fact, with that knowledge, you should already know that first of all, you shouldn't be playing games. You shouldn't be thinking only of yourself, because at the end of the day, you have supposedly given part of yourself to someone else. Therefore, that person has that responsibility to hold and cherish the part that you have given them. If they choose to throw it away out the window, yeet that shit. They can do that. But it was the fact that you chose to don't laugh. It's the fact
That
that
was
you
in New
chose
York and you yeet that shit.
it's the fact that you chose to trust that person.
Right.
That is where growth starts. That is where you will find out who you are in that in the aspect of a relationship, in the aspect of a unionship, where you will know not necessarily your roles, because roles don't necessarily have to be placed in this situation. But that's another conversation that I would let's not. We don't have enough
Yeah,
time for that one.
we might. I mean, shit.
I mean, we got 30 more minutes. We might as well roll. People don't know
Right.
roll.
Keep spitting.
Yeah, roles aren't for everybody, but the moment that you do start to be with somebody, you have to there has to be a level of understanding of what each person is going to provide. Not necessarily like, oh, I'll do the dishes and you take care of the kids. No, it's more like, how much do you have in you right now? If you are at a battery, let's talk about battery level. If you at 100% and I'm at 50, and I come home from work and I'm telling you, like, I don't got much in me. I can play with the kids for like maybe 20 minutes, but after that, I'm gonna need a break because work was hard for me today. And you talk to your significant other, and they're at 100, and they can go like, no, I get you, go ahead, do what you can. Actually, matter of fact, don't even worry about the kids, I got you. Just go sit down, go have your dinner, blah blah blah. That is a role that you can take. It's called when you take a burden off of someone else. It's considered the world to that person that you have helped. At the end of the day, that's you considering their feelings and what they're going through. It's
Right.
not necessarily that you're the housewife or you're the sensitive one or you're the
Yeah,
woman in the relationship. That whole aspect should go out the fucking window.
but I feel like being a stay-at-home mom or being a stay-at-home dad, like they're not really gonna understand the work life plus the home life. Like that's something they're not really
Oh
gonna
yeah,
understand fully. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
that's something I struggle with in my day to day. I am a stay at home mom,
Mhm.
and like I said, an aspiring author. So I spend most of my time daydreaming about my books, or I'll be working with or doing something with my daughter, working on a book cover. Point is that sometimes my mind ain't always there. And my husband can come home and he's gonna be tired as fuck, and I'm expecting him to do shit
Right.
because he's been working. I have to sit back and understand. Okay, he had an exhausting ass day. I need to sit back and understand. But then on your days off, I expect you to see the fact that I've been taking care of everything throughout the fucking week, and now it's my turn to sit the fuck down and unwind.
Right.
The understanding behind those two differences is it will make all the difference. There's no reason for us to go back and forth on something when we know for a fact I did this, you did that. Let's just you fill in the gaps. If you can't help me here, help me where you can, and don't ask me where, because that's also making it harder for me. Sorry, that's unnecessary. I just went into something else. Relationships are 50-50, or aren't 50-50. I don't expect you to do what I do. You shouldn't expect me to do what you do. Just fill in the gaps where you can. That's the only thing that matters between roles, or between a man and let me not even use man and woman nowadays. Between two significant others,
There you go.
is just fill in the gaps where you can. You're not
Right.
expecting.
Right. So what advice would you have for this younger generation? Now you've probably seen a lot of stupid shit they've been doing. But what advice would you have for these individuals?
Um, take it easy. Time is gonna go fast. You're gonna get to do whatever you're trying to do now. You're gonna get to do it. It's gonna happen because regardless of how hard life is, or how how many obstacles are in your way, it's gonna happen. When I was a teenager, the one thing that I thought I didn't have was enough time. For some
Mhm.
reason, I felt like I had to do as many things as possible. I need to know what this was about. I needed to get into that party. I needed to do this. I just needed to know too much. I wanted to know too much.
Right.
I wanted to experience too much too early. And now that I think about it, I kind of wish I would have experienced certain things now as an adult versus having that experience as a child, because that's what I was. I was a child. Having those experiences as a child didn't necessarily benefit me as much as they would have benefited me now as an adult. The knowledge that I could have gained, the understanding that I could have gained, and the situations that I could have avoided.
Right.
That's another thing. I've put myself in horrible fucking situations because I wanted to be promiscuous, or because I wanted to try something I shouldn't have tried, or be a part of something I had no business being a part of at that age.
Right.
So it takes a lot for, okay, so regret is always going to happen, but it takes a lot to understand, especially at this age, at the age that we're talking about. It takes a lot to understand the fact that you don't need to know everything. You don't need to try everything immediately, because everything's always going to be there.
Right.
What you want to do is always going to be there. It's just that it may not be with the people that you are clicking with right now, and that's fine. Those people are not always going to stay there. They're not always going to be here for you, and that's okay. That's another thing. That's okay. Your friends and the shit that you're into right now is going to fade.
Mm.
So don't rely on what's happening.
Look at the changes from the early 2000s to 2010 to fucking now. Now I don't know about you, but I realized a lot of fucking changes.
Mm.
A lot of.
I realize the differences between what the kids are into now.
Yeah. I feel like I don't even know what the fuck is going on right now. And that's my thing. Like, I feel like after I graduated high school in 2020, after that, every vibe was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, everyone's into all kinds of different shit. I'm still with the same shit. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Not to mention the drugs is getting crazier.
Yeah, that too.
It
was always crazy. Like, I knew homies that did LSD before class type of shit. But like,
oh my god, I had friends popping in the middle of class, fuck before class, in the middle of class, talking about, this is my anxiety medication. Don't you lie to me. I know what this is.
LSD.
Nah, you see them like slump in the class, and I'm like looking at you like, damn, algebra. You don't want to know this? Not even like.
Well, the dab pen in the bathroom. That's what we was known for. Using the dab pen in the bathroom in between classes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then a lot of them had the jewels and shit. Remember the jewels? A lot of people use that shit.
No, you know what phase really pissed me off? The K2 phase.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that?
Why?
What are you doing? Why are you rolling what smells like potpourri? Why are you doing that? And then the reactions, like, I've seen some kids really have seizures off that shit.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. They don't give a damn what they put in their bodies, and it's
that's bad. We've now come to the point where we have elementary school kids vaping and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you get much worse from there? You know, vaping at 3 years old.
Let's not even talk about the school shootings, because that's another thing.
You said the what now?
The shootings, like that, like in elementary schools, like it's just everything just gets worse.
That's another thing. Like, there's all kinds of different issues that happen in the school system from elementary school to high school, and yet people don't really focus on that for some reason. People don't really focus on that, but yet it's a problem.
It's a problem, but that's all people can say. Oh, it's a problem. We need to take guns and limit guns.
What is taking guns gonna do though? Like, that's not gonna solve the whole issue.
I'm sorry. Do you think if someone wanted to actually kill someone, do you really think they could only do it with a gun?
That's what I'm saying. The cafeteria got silverware and shit.
Right. Like I'm pretty sure all like. I have a sick mind.
Pencils, you sharpen a pencil enough, you can stab a motherfucker.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say I have a sick mind, and my mind will go straight to sharpening a pencil, because I got stabbed in the hand when I was a kid by a pencil.
I was the one that stabbed somebody in the hand, so that's funny you say that.
No fucking way. Let me stay away from you.
Don't fuck with me, man.
No.
I'm Mexican. I stab people.
Oh my goodness! But yo, it's progressively getting worse. I'm considering homeschooling my daughter because of this shit. Like,
I don't blame you. The school system is that fucked up. You know what I'm saying? I have younger siblings that are in the school system currently, you know, out there in Maryland. And I could tell you, they're probably not learning the best of shit. They're probably not getting the best of what they're given. So the best bet would be to homeschool your child.
Right.
And because people think that that's going to take away from their social area, which it could, but at the same time, there's so many apps and stuff out there. Are they really going to be taken away from that
Do you
social?
think I give a damn about your social experience if your life is on the line? No, not a damn clue. Not a damn. Damn. I don't care. Be neurodivergent. I don't give a damn. Keep yourself.
Was that weird? Nero, what? That
I I don't know. People come up with words
was
nowadays.
a big ass word on you.
Neurodivergent is when like, you just never mind. Point is, if you want to spend time with yourself, by yourself, alone, and it becomes the normal, fine. If you don't have, if you have social anxiety, fine. I understand maybe difficulty to deal with as an adult later on, but you're alive, right? That's
Okay. I see where you're coming from. For sure. But at the same time, we are humans. You know what I'm saying? We're not just gonna interact with ourselves, type of deal.
No, I mean she has cousins and stuff like that. She'll interact. To put her in a school, it's just I'm debating very much. I'm debating that very much. Maybe not even. I probably will let her go to elementary school and then skip junior high school and high school and just keep her home for those 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you could do, but at the same time, like, it's not really gonna affect what goes on in the world in general.
Yeah, no, it won't. You can only do so much as a parent to keep them safe, and I don't want to keep her as a hermit.
Yeah, you don't want to do that to where she's completely like anti-social. Like, you're gonna want her to be, very much social with people and have no problem talking to people.
But that's the difficulty now. We don't know what the fuck. We don't know what we can.
Why is difficulty now? Because of so much technology, all these social media apps, and people. I'm gonna tell you how my generation flirts with people. They will literally go up to a female and a dude will go up to a female and be like, "What's your Snapchat or what's your Instagram? What's your TikTok?" and go from there.
Ew.
Whatever happened to, hey, how's your day going? You look very good tonight. Like, whatever happened to that type of shit?
That's sad.
Whatever happened, like that's why I want this world to go back to like a early 2000s, a 90s type of vibe, to where people can actually socialize outside without having to worry about shit.
I miss getting love letters.
That too, the love letters, right?
I miss getting love letters. I used to have this.
If I lived back then, I would have never wrote a love letter in my life. But
I bet you haven't. Oh, my light just turned off. I bet it's not something that a lot of people do.
I'm saying, like, even if I lived back then, like, I probably wouldn't have ever done that. I probably would have just.
I don't know. I'm kind of.
I don't know if you ever seen that movie. Have you ever seen the movie How to Be a Player?
Yes.
See, I feel like that's more about what I would be like. Like, I wouldn't send no love letters, none of that shit. I would just, you know what I'm saying. But that's not the way to go. Obviously, that's not the way to be. Oh, you kind of froze a little bit. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. My bad. I didn't.
Yeah. I'm saying that's kind of how like my vibe would be, but at the same time, like, that's not what people should strive for. Like, don't go for that vibe. It's a good movie, but don't go for that vibe.
I try my hardest. I used to play matchmaker in high school. I used to love setting people up, and it was successful most of the time. The relationships actually, one of them actually ended up getting married. Now,
did you go? So I'm curious. Did you go to school in New York like your whole life?
Yeah.
So how was that like? No, I'm dead ass curious. How the fuck was that like?
A lot of fights.
Oh, so kind of like my high school. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of stabbings. There was drugs. I used to buy my weed off the nurse in my high school.
That's kind of lit though.
No, she took me to the mall one day. We were smoking in her car. She took me to the mall and we had mad fun.
That sounds like a lit fucking staff member.
It was just her.
Let me tell you something. The last guest I had on talked about having a dean in high school. Have you ever heard of a fucking dean in high school?
Yeah, I had 4 in my high school.
What the fuck? Am I the only one? I never had a dean. I had a principal, assistant principal, and an administration that sat at the desk and did whatever the fuck, and then the teachers.
Wait, okay. So you didn't have any houses in your school? Like we had
houses.
Journalism. We had law and government. We had nursing.
You talking about the classes?
electives, like house electives.
Yeah, we had those electives, but I never had a dean. Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
and there's a dean for there should be a dean per elective.
Fuck no, we just had a principal.
He said, "Fuck no."
One principal, one assistant principal, and the rest were teachers or administration, whatever the fuck they did, and the
That,
counselor. Like, what the fuck is a dean in high school, bro? Like, I've heard of a dean for college, but a dean for high school is crazy.
I mean, but then again, I don't know how packed your school was, but New York schools are extremely packed.
4A. It was a 4A school.
I don't know what that means. So
1A being like the smallest school ever, and I think 5A being like the biggest school.
Okay.
So mine was 4. It was either a 3A or a 4A.
Okay. I don't know what mine was, but I can tell you how many students were in the school. We had over it was over 2,000 kids in that school, and it made no damn sense.
You were probably 5A school.
Yeah. It was.
But a dean, I've never heard of a dean, bro. Like, when I hear of a dean for high school, I think of a private school. Like, what the hell is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't. I don't. They didn't really do much but guide the kids outside of the classes. Like, they didn't really do much. They might join field day or two.
Either I'm tripping or we only had one principal, one assistant principal, and that's it.
I even had deans in junior high school.
Okay, now I know I'm not tripping because I know I didn't have no dean in middle school.
Junior high school, there was a dean per academy.
Oh, that's why you went to academy. I went to just
it was a regular. No. I didn't go to an academy. It was there were academies in my junior high school. It was science and tech,
right.
English lit, and then world government. But like it was that.
Mm.
And each academy had their own dean.
Right. No, that's a English lit probably my freshman year. And that was before I even moved to the East Coast. I moved to the East Coast, and like I said, principal, assistant principal, teachers, and administration that sat in the office and did fucking nothing. Like, what was the administration staff there for?
Right. I mean, I guess I take your information down, but that's about it.
Oh, that. Like, what are they doing throughout the day that we're there?
Nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. They had no business. They had nothing to do. That's why whenever you walked in, they would literally just probably playing solitaire on their computers.
That's what I'm saying. So when you want to talk about the individuals in schools that need to get paid the most, it's the fucking teachers. Fuck the administration staff. Fuck the principal and the assistant principal.
I think teacher salary should be based on not test scores, but their student participation. Tell me.
That would be a good one. But then again, they'd be rich off that shit because how many students are going to participate? They would be rich.
Let's be rich because that means that you get in the children to engage in your lectures, in your lessons. I'm pretty sure you've seen that video of the kid that stands up and he's telling the teacher, like, if you were to stimulate our minds, if you were to try to give us some type of stimulation when it comes to our learning, instead of giving us a fucking packet, maybe we would actually sit here and respect what you're trying to teach.
Right, because there's so many teachers, even when I went to school, that did that shit. They didn't teach shit, they just handed out the paper.
Exactly. So my point is,
bro,
if a teacher's salary was based on child participation, not test scores, because once again, not every child is great at taking tests.
Right.
But participation?
I hated tests.
Ma'am, sir. I'm just saying.
I agree with you on that. I think they should get tested on that. And there needs to be less teachers that just hand out paper. That's one thing. Anybody can fucking hand out paper.
Homework should not even exist. Because
you're a little too much with me right now. This is not good. This is not a good thing.
Schools should not have homework. Why? Because I spend 8 hours a day learning how many different subjects? 5 different subjects? Science, English, math. What's the other two?
Wait. Hold on. You did homework?
Did I do it? I dropped out, honey. I didn't do shit.
I was the one that cheated. Like, I did the homework the next day where I was like, what's the answer for this
shit? Yeah. That too. I would, because then we would collect the homework and I would grab.
Yeah. Hey, tell me the answer real quick. All right, cool. Turn it in.
No, but actually doing a homework on time, sometimes if I had fun throughout that, see, this is what I'm saying. If I had fun in that class the day of, and I know that this homework is going to be the subject of what I had fun on, and I paid attention to, I would do that homework gladly. because I knew what I was. I remember this. It was interactive, all this other shit.
Right.
But it's boring, and you just giving me a packet of something that we didn't even.
Like, I'm gonna tell you this, I'm not into like politics, government shit. I'm not really into that shit at all. But I had this one teacher, probably the dopest fucking teacher you'll ever meet, teach a government class, and he made that shit the most interesting class there was in that fucking school, to where people wanted to do that homework, to where people wanted to actually turn in their work. So I feel like it's on the teacher to make that shit interesting. It's on the teacher to make that shit hype as fuck. Like, there's not a lot of teachers that can do that, if that makes sense.
That's exactly.
How can you do that with math? Like, y equals this shit. How can you hype that shit up? Who the fuck wants to solve for y?
Man, I don't know. I shouldn't be. I learning how to solve for y. What I should be learning is how to fill out this tax form. What I should be learning is where's my credit score and how do I fix it. What I should be is how do I
pay bills? How do I pay my taxes and bills and shit?
Thank you. Why a squared plus b squared equals c squared is I don't need to find this. I don't need to find slope. Leave me alone. What is that? Like, what even is that?
Yeah, what is that actually? Because like I remember I learned it, but I forgot it. What even is that?
It's just an angle, baby. That's all it is.
A literal slope.
Literally, just find the slope of an angle. That's it. I don't know why we needed to know that, but apparently we did.
Fuck all that. I mean, I did better in geometry than I did algebra, so.
I don't like shapes.
You don't like shapes? I like shapes. I think shapes make what the world is today, man.
No, I mean, I don't like mathing with shapes.
Even math shapes, like geometry, bro. Geometry was easy. Soft for the octagon shit.
Nah, see, I'm okay.
They made it easy for me. Algebra though, nah.
I was better at algebra.
When you throw letters into a math problem, that's where it becomes a literal problem.
Literal. Yep. It is now literature. I am not in English class.
Solve for V. When the fuck did V become part of the equation? What the fuck?
Hey, yo, Victor, come solve this. I'm sorry.
Oh, that. I'll solve your X without asking why. What the fuck is this shit? You know, like.
I want to know why they still asking questions. Like, do you remember PEMDAS? No, I do not know.
I actually do.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
Well, yeah. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. There you go.
That didn't need to be a thing. I didn't need to know that. I really didn't. Like, I could have lived my whole life without.
You didn't, but like, it was helpful. It was helpful.
it though? Like, what are you using it for?
Because I'm gonna tell you this, PEMDAS, I ain't gonna lie. Like I thought PEMDAS was like, nah, fuck all that. Like it's not gonna help. But when it comes to like my bills and my taxes, I'm like, where the fuck PEMDAS at? Like I need to know how much I'm gonna take.
You need that taxes?
Yeah, bro. I mean, like I need to know how much I'm gonna take out my account, how much I could put in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not putting too much.
I can't say shit. I don't even do my own taxes. Not anymore.
You see, but if you started doing it, you would understand. Like. That shit kind of helps a little bit though.
I don't know. Even when I did,
you don't gotta solve no crazy equations like exponent here, a fucking multiplication thing here. Like you don't gotta do that. It's addition and subtraction. I feel like addition and subtraction was really what we were supposed to learn as far as math. We don't need to learn multiplication. Like that's just a simpler way of addition. Same with division being a simpler way of subtraction. You know what I'm saying?
One thing that I do, I think the only thing that I do use now is dimension. For like
dimension. Hold up. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? I'm talking about dimension, like length, width, and height.
You talking about physics?
No, wait. Coming from someone who's talking highly about geometry, length, width, and height. Come on now, sir. Come on. I'm just saying for furniture and stuff like that, like I've used dimension measurements, but that's about as far as I go when it comes to math on a daily basis. That and counting my money.
So do you see? There you go. Like people don't need to know that much. You said talking highly about geometry. I'm sorry. Geometry was the only shit I got an A in. You know what I'm saying? Algebra I had like a fucking C or a D in.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk highly of geometry. You're like
I think dimensions were in geometry, honey.
Geometry was easy for me. I don't know why. It was just easier than algebra.
Shit.
I was in the algebra help class, but I took algebra 1.5 my junior year.
What the fuck is algebra 1.5?
It's a help class. It's like beginning algebra, but for the people that couldn't comprehend it. There you go. And I took algebra 2 my senior year.
Algebra was not my friend.
Stat and prob bullshit or that calculus. Calculus, suck a dick.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Chemistry, calculus, all that stuff. No.
Chemistry was worse because it had math involved in it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was okay. Science.
I like mixing the shit, but when I have to do math in it, no.
No, I didn't like that. I wanted rebuke.
Rebuke? What do you mean?
Rebuke whatever demon created math.
I don't think it was a demon. I just think it was a smart individual that just understood shit more than we did.
You want to tell me he's not a demon?
You're a demon.
How dare you confuse the whole human race?
He gonna be telling you a math problem. You're gonna be over here like putting the cross up in front of him. Like, what the fuck? He teaching you something.
No.
What you doing? What you doing?
You're funny.
But we are about at that hour mark. Like I said, I know you got that live to go to. I'm probably gonna go live myself, maybe. We'll see. But we do have a Q&A at the end of every episode, and I apologize in advance.
You're okay.
If they're weird, because I don't control what people ask. They just send it my way. I turn it into a little poster type thing, and then that's it.
Okay.
So, here's the first Q&A thing ready.
Okay.
That's a good one.
It is. Makes you think. Hopefully I'll be a best-selling author by then. And I'll have a few projects. In other words, I hope to have one of my books turn into a series or a movie. So yeah, I think that's, and then my book club. I hope my book club helps many authors by that time.
There you go. Okay, I fuck with that. Just no math involved.
No. For certain situations, do you cover your eyes or your face? Okay.
Like I said, some of them be weird.
Probably my eyes. Like if I can't believe something, I'm like, oh my god. And that happens a lot when I'm reading, especially.
So what's funny is because I click randomly, so that question's popped up in a couple past episodes. A lot of them said the face, so you're the first one to say the eyes. One.
Really? Because I usually facepalm a lot, so.
So what makes why do you say the eyes versus like the whole face? I feel like people cover the whole face more than the eyes for some odd reason.
I don't know. I mean, like unless I'm like shy about something, I'm not gonna be like, I'm like, if you make me blush, that's when I'll do this. But if I'm on a daily basis, I'm not blushing for no reason. So it's just usually it's, oh my god, you.
I was say because you've also did that a couple times too already throughout this episode,
right? So it's always eyes.
Right.
How would you imitate this emoji, and what does it mean?
I'm clicking randomly.
Okay. Yes, the same thing. Like, oh god. I think that's more like when you're trying to say something and you like kind of don't want to see what that person's reaction is, but you're curious, but you low key not, but you're curious.
So you've used that before?
Definitely.
I've never used that emoji in my fucking life.
What? When you say something questionable and you're not sure how they're gonna react to it, you're just like,
no.
No.
Okay, let me ask you this: do people do that in real life?
No, but they wince.
That's what I'm saying. So like that emoji is like one of the weirdest emojis I've ever seen.
It is. You know what else is the weird one? The one with the free that's like half one eye open, one eye closed, and he's like melting. Not the melting one, but the other one is just like he looks like he's like distorted.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's weird too. So I'm glad they asked that question because I don't really know what that one means either. You kind of explained it, but it's like I feel like people use that one for different things. Like I don't really know too much about that. So
okay.
What's up with the cover your face shit, bro?
When my girl is upset, she covers her entire face with both hands. What is the reason girls do that? Is because she's either okay. At least for me, if I'm upset and I cover my face with my hands, I'm trying to regain my composure because I'm really tight. Like
what would that look like so people would know like to
like when you're frustrated and you're trying your hardest not to like spaz out. That's what I'm thinking about. Like,
that's probably the most perfect way to do that shit. Because like if you see your woman doing that, like if you say one more fucked up thing, she's gonna swing on.
I'm gonna swing.
Yeah, like you gotta know to get out of the room.
Right.
That's like a get out of the room type of thing, right?
evacuate.
I think also what they mean by upset though too, if I read it correctly. I think
I mean, maybe she crying.
that's what I'm saying. Like it could be like a crying thing. So like, have you ever cried and done that same thing, or is that just certain people?
Definitely more, but that's more of it if I'm trying to hide the amount of, like, if I'm crying and I did something, maybe if I'm guilty for whatever for whatever I'm crying about,
Yeah.
and like I'm just like ashamed, I feel like that's where I would do it. That's where I would cover my face and I'd be like, like, damn, I'm going
So
through it.
you'd be exactly like that.
Not like this, because I'm like, you see my hands, I'm like, oh my god, no. But but like, no, I would definitely be covering my face and just like, damn, that's not, like, I'm not sure. I can't look at you right now because of how guilty I feel, or how much wrong I did. You know what I
So
mean?
it's more of like you don't want to notice, like you don't want people to notice you crying type of deal.
Yes and no. It could be both. It could be that, or I just can't look at you in the face while I'm crying because I know this is wrong. So it could be one of two,
Right.
or
I
three.
you explained that pretty good because I wouldn't even know how to explain that because I think those are weird questions to me,
Really?
but at the same time you answer them pretty good.
I mean,
So
I'm a writer. I gotta figure it out.
I feel like that's been in books before, no? Where like a
Definitely.
person's crying and covering their face, but I never knew exactly what they meant by that. Like if they're covering their whole face and crying, or like what exactly they mean by that. So I don't know. I haven't read much books either, so
Join the book club. I will read to you.
dead ass. Like I'm always looking for a bedtime story type of deal.
But that's what I do. I read to people.
Word. So you'd give me like a bedtime story?
Facts. I'm actually
Like
starting
this already.
soon. I'm actually starting up a Discord soon where it's gonna be strictly spicy reads. Yeah.
Don't do that now because I
That
don't be
is
looking
being
at the
done.
next woman that looks at me like I just listened to a book.
I just listened to a book.
Like I'm ready to try whatever this is talking about here. Like
But that's exactly what men should do. So you should by all means listen to a
I
spicy
mean, I
book
already do that,
and apply it
but
into your day to day.
I already do that, but I got you. So basically, what you're saying is all men need to be like what I do. Then that's
A
basically
book, yes, a book boyfriend. Let's just read a book, see what they do, and see what your girl like about it. Do it.
if you get horny off a book, that's this next level shit.
I mean, but like it's better than porn though. Porn is fake.
Some would argue that. I'm not one of those people because I don't really watch porn like that, but some would argue that.
Porn is such an act though. At least with books, it's
Real
coming
talk, because they're doing some crazy ass positions, and I feel like women would not be comfortable doing those whack ass.
No, we would not. No, it's unrealistic.
The man would be like, "Okay, so you like this?" And the woman's like, "No, I don't."
No, I don't.
Where'd
Right.
you get this from? Oh, a porn. That's why, dumbass. Like, okay,
Right. But at least if you read romance, it's coming from a woman's perspective. So therefore, you
right.
know what she may have
What's
an idea.
funny? What's funny is you're author about that, right? But I've used wordplay to attract a woman that I've wanted to attract, type of deal. If that makes sense. Like I've used a lot of wordplay and what do you call it? Like I kind of learned like they like books like fucking 50 Shades of Grey, all those types of love type novels. So I would use that to my advantage and be like, use those same getting to description type words, describing what I want to do.
Describing what you do and what you're going to do to her, and then praising her for what she does too. The praise goes a long way.
but for some reason it works. Like I tried it just to be like, let's see where this gets me. And I was like, bro, that shit works.
It does. It does. Words
Like,
do.
honestly, you don't do that to a random female you've never met. But like if you've actually had like a couple conversations with her and then you want to try that shit out, it's gonna work.
One more thing, consent is sexy. Consent is so sexy. Right. When you ask before you do something, not really necessarily because you're
okay. So to the viewers, to the listeners, how exactly are they supposed to ask for that spicy time?
I mean, it depends on what you're asking for. Wait, ask for the what? Would you just ask me?
Ask for the, you know what? Like, you want me to just ask the fuck? Like, if they want to ask.
Okay. That first of all, that would all depend on how you talk. Not everybody talks the same, but there's certain ways for you to insinuate it without having to say the words Now, if the girl doesn't catch on, you have to be clear. You need to make sure you get a yes and an understandable yes from what
I feel
she's.
like in New York they wouldn't care. They'd be like, "Hey, you fucking bro, like you wanna fuck or what, eh?
Was it DTF? DTF? That's all they say. No, no.
You're down the fuck or what? You're
Down to
fucking
fuck. Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
get
No.
jerked off. Like what?
That's not okay. No, definitely take your time with the question. Don't just rush it like, do you want?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't flirted in or have been single in years, so I.
But here's the best way I would ask. Here's the best way I would ask.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Keep in mind, this is someone I would know, right?
Mm-hmm,
So like, ain't gonna lie, like I've been thinking about you some type of way, and it'd be cool to kind of venture down these types of fantasies if you're down for it. I feel like that's the best way to ask.
Okay, you went straight for the fantasies. Okay.
Yeah, like that's the best way to ask for that.
Sure. I mean, this is someone that you know, so the fantasy mentioning the fantasies is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say this someone I don't know.
Yeah, because if it was someone you don't know, I wouldn't be like.
I saw you in my dreams. Like, what the fuck, bro? I'm a pepper spray your ass. What?
You stalking me now? Or
yeah, jerk off. Yo, New York is funny. New York is funny with the insults. I ain't gonna lie.
It is. Oh my goodness.
I love New York. I want to go there. I want to go to Brooklyn.
Sure. You would definitely fit in very easily in Brooklyn.
Why do you say that?
Because you don't take this the wrong way. You look Italian. You also look Puerto Rican, and then you have swag. So I'm so sorry. I said don't take this the wrong way.
Damn much, man. I look Puerto Rican this, Puerto Rican that. Like I might as well just be fucking Puerto Rican at this point.
You might as well. Might as well learn.
You know what? I'm gonna take down this Mexican flag. I'm gonna put up a Puerto Rican flag because that's what the fuck
I mean, but you know what? Mexicans also are roaming around Brooklyn, so you good too. My point is that you will blend it like so you might as well go.
No, people don't even think Mexican when they see me. Like they think either Puerto Rican, Cuban, or I haven't even gotten Dominican before I got Mexican. Like I'm not even dark skinned. Like what the fuck?
You never gotten Italian?
I've gotten that a couple times too, but like they'll be like Italian mixed. They won't just strictly be like Italian. If that makes sense. Okay. Because I don't like if I'm full-blooded Italian, like nah, bro. I have too many facial features to be full-blooded anything. To be honest with you,
I got facial features. You can see me. You can see multiple versions.
And my eyes are small. Like what European dude you know has small ass eyes, bro, or has facial hair like this.
I mean, I don't know.
I've been Puerto Ricans, I swear to God.
No. I know. I was saying I've been places, so I've seen. You actually look like an old hairstylist that I used to go to. He was Italian, Vincenzo and all that shit. So
he was like full-blooded Italian.
Full-blooded Italian.
He had facial hair like me.
Facial hair. I'm telling you, you look like a younger version of him. It's just that he had longer, curlier hair. That's it.
I don't got no curly hair. Let me see my hair. Short.
You got a buzz cut.
Hell yeah.
Simple.
I don't got no upkeep shit. You feel me?
Right.
Like I get the high taper fade. You know, number 2 on top. Straight up. And then motherfuckers want to say I look like a cholo like that. Hey, I don't give a fuck.
How dare they?
You know what a cholo is?
I definitely know what a cholo is. Oh, I ran into wine. That's
like East Coast probably don't know what a cholo is because that's more West Coast shit. But cholo, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the official cholos out here, like the ones with the high knee socks and the shorts. And the
I got a bunch of fits like that too.
No way.
I swear to God. Because that's my culture, man. Like cholos are Chicanos, man. Like that's my culture.
Chicano, no.
That's where I come from. I'll do the button-up fucking short cargo shorts, high socks.
The best actor that played a cholo was the guy from Friday who like puts the beanie like down here. He's just like, "What's up, Holmes?" I forgot his name, but he was just.
So I don't know where that comes from, the whole beanie bullshit. Because
the beanie?
I'm gonna educate y'all a little. So like in all reality, the beanie would go above or just below the eyebrows, so and that you motherfuckers could still see. But the way Hollywood and all these motherfuckers promote it was like the beanie goes over the whole eyes. They gotta look like this. Yeah.
And then when they hide it, like they
do that. Like that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood bullshit. Nah,
Oh my
they just
goodness.
had it low like that. Like they didn't wear it up top like
Mhm.
most people would. But yeah, that's the culture I come from. So I have a couple fits for sure. But you call me Puerto Rican, like too many people have called me that shit. You know what I'm
I
saying?
apologize. I
No, no,
apologize.
don't apologize because now I know where I can fit in at. If I
Yeah.
ever want to run away from the law, I can go to New York. I can go
No,
to, I can go to PR, fit in a little bit, and I'll be straight. They ain't never
you ain't
gonna
getting
see.
that far.
They never gonna catch me.
Lord have mercy. Oh my God.
Why you
I got.
said Brooklyn though? I thought maybe the Bronx was where I could fit in at.
Oh yeah, the
Bronx
Bronx.
is
You
nice
mentioned.
weekend.
You mentioned Brooklyn. I told you I was like, okay, yeah, sure, Brooklyn, but the Bronx is where you would definitely fit in. That's where I'm. That's where I'm.
Why you say okay? No, no, no. I want to know why you say the Bronx now.
Because it's Bronx is Spick Central.
It's true. I've never
It
heard
is
that
what?
before.
No matter where you go in the Bronx, you're gonna find a version of a spick. It doesn't matter Spanish. It doesn't matter if it's Dominican. Doesn't matter if it's Puerto Rican,
Hold
Mexican,
up.
Honduran. You will find every single one. Cuban, freaking Ecuadorian,
Mexican,
Venezuelan. Everybody's there.
Mexican, Mexican.
Mexicans, yes. Everybody. What do you think? I got the caseras, the one that freaking delivered the food outside in the streets. That was in the Bronx. She's always outside waiting for the construction.
Manhattan. I don't fucking know. Manhattan,
Oh,
maybe. I don't know.
Manhattan too, but
The
that's
Bronx. I would think people would be too scared to deliver shit in the Bronx. Like when I hear
no.
the Bronx, like be
The
careful.
people who got the most respect in the Bronx are the ones that work on the streets, bro. What? The lady selling canepas, the other lady selling freaking mango
I was
con.
told I'm gonna get my chain snatched in the Bronx.
Yeah, don't wear your snatch. Don't wear your chain. I'll tell you that right now.
I'll throw hands before I get my chain snatched. Fuck.
Don't, baby, don't wear your chain.
You
Don't do
said
it.
tuck it. You said tuck it into one of these numbers.
Right, one of those, or just don't.
Why? Why is that a thing? Don't they have enough chains, bro? Like they're wearing a chain themselves.
No, we don't. They don't discriminate. I said we. They don't discriminate.
Word. So if I just
They,
acted like, because I'm bilingual, so if I just acted like I didn't speak English, like they wouldn't give a
that's
fuck.
even worse. That's probably even worse. Probably, I don't even know.
You
I'm
said they
just
don't
saying.
discriminate, but you said that's even worse.
They don't. That's what I'm saying. They don't discriminate against who they will steal from.
Bruh. I'm
Sir,
fucking-
just don't wear it outside. Don't. They slashed it. They took my catalytic converter from my car.
Yo, what?
My
Your
catalytic
convertible
converter.
what?
You know cars?
A little
The
bit.
shit,
Not
the
like
shit
that.
that make the shit that make the sound for the car.
The brr sound?
The vroom shit. The shit that make it loud
Yeah.
or off.
Oh, they took that bitch out?
At least that's what my husband told me. That's what it was, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we gotta fix it.
Damn. New York be wild, but I dead ass feel like I'd fit it in New York.
Probably.
I feel like I would. Like I could get the accent down, no problem. Just like I got down the Puerto Rican accent.
It's not that difficult, to be honest. It really
It's
ain't.
It's not. All you gotta do is, hey, you fucking jerk off. Like, what are you doing here?
Nah. See, you sound way too fucking Italian now. You sound Brooklyn.
That's all you gotta do to fit in
No,
New
it's
York.
not.
That's
No,
all
it
you
ain't.
gotta do. Hey, look, Italians, right? Our flag, but no eagle and snake.
Sir.
Take that shit away. That's an Italian flag. So there you go.
No. Oh my god! All right, I only got 8 minutes. I got to go.
I got you. So we're gonna go ahead and end this off because this is about to go on forever. You know.
It would. It would. I would
But
love to be back if it's possible.
absolutely, just let me know. Let me know. I'm an open book. See what I'm getting there? Yeah. Nah, but I'm going to end off this episode. I appreciate you coming on for sure. I'm glad that I met you on TikTok and you was down to get on an episode and talk about everything, really, literally everything.
Anything. We touched a lot of subjects.
We definitely did, but I'm definitely interested in getting you on another episode for sure, as long as you're down for it.
Definitely.
And with that being said, shout out your social medias for everybody.
Word. You can go ahead and follow me on TikTok at sirens.pages.com. Wow.
.org.
No .com, no .org. I'm that old. So yeah, sirens.pages on TikTok. On Instagram, I am Nenie _your business. I should probably link those somehow, right? If you find one, you will find the other.
Yeah.
But majority of the time, I go by Nenie, so you will find me somehow, some way.
They gonna find you. And no, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not gonna apologize because they're gonna throw themselves under the bus if they send you some weird shit. No, fuck all that.
Don't
Don't send me weird shit. But if you do, I'm not covering for you. Like she can do whatever the fuck she wants to do with y'all. I don't give a shit. That ain't under me. You know what I'm saying? We had a cool vibe here. But if y'all want to take that shit to the extreme, y'all do what you want to do.
You're more than welcome to at your own risk.
Meaning like that's dangerous. Don't do that. But again, appreciate you coming on and hope you enjoy your live for sure. Look out for the posts and everything.
Definitely will. Definitely will.